Assalamu alaikum. This is the story of a prophet who stood firm when the world turned away. A prophet of patience. A prophet of perseverance. This is the story of Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him. 1,000 years after Prophet Adam, peace be upon him, was sent to earth. The population of mankind had increased many times. But as people increased, so did corruption. Shaitan had deceived mankind. And people had begun worshipping idols instead of Allah. It was at this time that Allah sent Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, to guide humanity back to the truth. But this mission was not easy. Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, called out to the people, asking them to fear Allah and obey His commands. Again and again, he reminded them that it was Allah who created the sun, the moon, and the stars. It was Allah who created the rivers, the mountains, the trees, and everything they could see around them. He reminded them that all of this was created for them. So why worship lifeless idols? But the people refused to listen. They mocked him. They denied him. They accused him of lying. They said he was just another man like them, and turned their backs on his message. Yet there were believers among the people. Simple, poor, and humble souls, who listened to the prophet, and realized that idol worship was a grave sin. Soon, humanity was divided into two groups. Those who worshipped Allah, and those who continued worshipping idols. For many years, Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, continued preaching. Day and night, he called the people tirelessly. But the disbelievers grew angry. They threatened him with stones. They beat him with sticks. They humiliated him in public. They mocked him, calling him a fool. Yet none of this stopped him. For 950 years, Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, continued calling the people to Allah. Still, the number of disbelievers kept increasing. One night, while Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, was praying, Allah spoke to him. Allah comforted him, telling him that he had fulfilled his duty. Allah declared that He would punish the people of the earth for their wrongdoings. Only the believers and the animals would be saved. As the first step, Allah commanded Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, to plant many trees. Though he did not understand the reason, he obeyed Allah. For more than 100 years, he and the believers planted trees. After many years, Allah spoke to him again. This time, Allah commanded him to build a ship. A massive ship that would carry a pair of every animal on earth. Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, had never built a ship before. No one had. Yet he trusted Allah. With the help of believers, he chose a place far away from the city, on top of the mountains. The very trees he had planted years ago were now cut down for wood. Day and night, they worked tirelessly. When the disbelievers saw a ship being built on a mountain, they laughed and mocked him. They called him old and foolish. They questioned how the ship would ever reach the sea. Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, calmly told them that they would soon understand. After many months, the ship was completed. The ship had 3 sections. One for birds, one for humans, and one for animals. As the day of the flood approached, animals and birds began arriving in pairs, male and female. Elephants, giraffes, lions, rabbits, parrots, and countless others filled the ship. One day, exactly as Allah had promised, water began coming out of the stove in Prophet Nuh's home. This was the sign. Rain began pouring from the sky. Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, immediately gathered the believers and instructed them to board the ship. The disbelievers laughed, mocking him as the rain fell. Everyone boarded the ship, except one of his wives and his son, who were not believers. A massive wave rose, larger than the mountain itself, and swept them away. All the disbelievers were destroyed. The earth was completely submerged. Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, said, Bismillah. And the ship began to move. They sailed for a long time. Allah had planned everything perfectly. Even the fiercest animals lived peacefully. Illness subdued the violent ones. When rats caused trouble, Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, prayed. And Allah created cats to restore balance. After about 150 days, land was still nowhere to be seen. The Prophet sent out a crow, but it never returned. Then he sent out a dove. After some time, the dove returned carrying an olive branch. Hope filled their hearts. Soon, the ship reached Mount Judi. Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, said, Bismillah. And the ship came to rest. The animals, birds, and insects were released to repopulate the earth. When Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him, stepped onto land, the first thing he did was fall into prostration before Allah. This marked a new beginning for humanity. A beginning built on obedience, patience, and trust in Allah. This is the story of Prophet Nuh, peace be upon him. A story that reminds us that truth may be rejected, but it is never defeated.